do you think that will be the role of some of the large software companies that are doing your check-ins? I don't know the names of some of them. That's not my area. But
ABC and Club Automation and CSI.
Those will be the people that will...
They could do. I don't know, but as soon as someone works out how to do it, I think they're onto something, you know?
Or do you think it will be like an Apple, Amazon type?
Oh, they're definitely going to do it.
Right.
They are absolutely going to do it. Yes. So maybe they just come up with a system and we just buy it off them and see what they do, you know? But they're doing it now.
Yeah.
You know, you've got companies like NetPulse that have done it as well. NetPulse has aggregated these health and wellness apps for a long time.
Right.
You know, eGym are doing something like that as well. So I think more of that, just seeing how we can use that. One of the things that we really dig into at Midtown is really looking at the personas and profiles of the people that come into our clubs.
Oh, interesting.
You know, and we look at our programming based off the personas and profiles and looking at their habits and time of day and stuff that they do. Whereas I think most clubs, when they devise their programs, go, oh, I've got a good program. Here's this. I like using this kettlebell with this, right? No, we look at this. So here's our active aging. What do they like to do? Who do they hang out with? You know, and even to the persona, and this is an actual persona that we've built many programs on, is Starbucks carrying, Lululemon wearing young mum.
Right.
That's a persona. You know what time of day they come in, you know what they're interested in, and their husbands probably come once a week, but Saturdays for sure. Mm-hmm. What do we do for them? So we're backing out all of our offerings, even down to our food and beverage offering, and how we're speaking to those personas in the clubs. That's the thing that we're digging deep into at the moment. Actually, that's my role that I'm looking at within the company, is how we have these cross-departmental member experiences,
right,
and how they feed into each other to create this ecosystem of programming within the club, from our food and beverage to spa to fitness to racket sports, all the way through your personas. So we know what to recommend you next.
Well, I was with a guy a couple of weeks ago, and he basically uses a psychometric profile to do that. Really, really interesting guy. I could have talked to him for ages, but he basically everyone's got a slightly different psychometric profile. And yet when we market to people and then we make recommendations, we're looking at everybody as kind of a whole. You obviously are already taking it to one level, but he's like, you like, some people want to be communicated to in this way, some people don't. Some people need to be told, some people need to be coached.
Yes.
There's a mix of things, and he was trying to use AI with some like psychology within the programming to kind of really be able to personalize that communication before, during, after.
I mean, the advertising agencies have been doing this for a while, right?
Right.
Like,
Facebooks and everything. Yeah, I think that's where it comes from.
But we've been doing this, I think my marketing team will get me for this one if I get it wrong, but I think that's why, in fact, I know that's why we've been successful over the last few months for sure. Mm-hmm. That we've been doing a lot of that around our marketing and advertisements on social, with different campaigns reaching different people using personas, and exactly what you just said there. What are they interested in? What speaks to them?
Right, yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's quite interesting. And then when they come in, and our launch program, which is the first thing they see and guides their whole sales process, is these 18 aspirations that you pick. And we keep a very detailed record on the aspirations and who picks them. And different personas pick different aspirations, and you can start to match it up. And like Find My Circle, which is the aspirations are very visual, with keywords over the top. So what speaks to you is either the visual or the word. And Find My Circle is some people sitting around having a coffee, and it says Find My Circle. That was sort of like halfway down pre-COVID. Now it's at the top.
Wow.
People are coming back saying, Find My Circle, live longer, all day energy, mood boost. It's interesting, right? So this is what people are interested in now.
That's fascinating. I know there are some clever companies. Ian from Keep Me AI, I know he's doing some cool stuff. But I suppose when you look at the amount of money that's being spent by the Facebooks, TikToks, and how much they know and how they recommend things, I suppose if you could take that technology and put that into a regular fitness club, how powerful would that be, you know, in terms of being able to understand people and recommend things? And
I mean, this opens up Pandora's box. It's another conversation, but the metaverse, whatever that is in the future, right? So we've been digging in and researching and looking and trying to understand, the fitness metaverse and different things. We were going to actually buy a club and put a Midtown in the fitness metaverse, but we've paused on that just for the short term.
Just on that one, why were you going to do that? Because I still don't even understand. I know people have done it, but is it a marketing thing or
well, we
what?
just don't know where it's going to go.
Okay.
So at some point there is going to be 3D glasses. You're going to have this on and you're going to live in a 3D space. That's going to happen.
Okay.
That's going to happen, right? It's going to happen. So these worlds where you can, and I think it hits a different, like we go exercise, right? But the gaming community and the generation coming up, they spend so long, so much time, behind a computer and doing this stuff. So how can we, what we couldn't work out, and I think it's too early, it's far too early, so we're going to pause a little, but we're still going to stay close to it, is how does that relate to our box and mortar? How does that relate to us?
Yeah.
So I think there's the concept of points, or you earn money or cryptocurrencies of some form, so you can monetize you to be active by doing things where you earn points to go into that club. And you can have a membership to go into that club, and you wear your goggles and you'd see Midtown on the high street. You'd go in there and you could be on that treadmill or lift weights, and the more cryptocurrencies you have, or the more coins you use, you can get different entrances into classes or yoga classes. You earn and spend.
Okay.
I don't know where
Privileges
it's going.
And...
Yeah.
Have you heard of those guys called Gym Bros? I think they're in Australia. Have you heard of them?
No.
So they've got a bricks and mortar club, and then they've got a metaverse one, I guess. And it's similar. So I may mess this up. I was reading about it, but you can basically buy a Gym Bro, which is a kind of a digital thing, and then you get a membership, and there's a link between the club and the metaverse. I don't exactly know, and I wanted to try and get them to explain.
What we were looking at as well.
Okay. I still can't figure out exactly how it worked, but I do get the gaming business and how big that is, and I watch my son, and he's definitely living a different world, most of the time. But I just can't figure out how workout and this thing connect. I'm sure somebody does know about it. But.
Well, actually, I got asked to do a presentation on wellness to a whole lot of gamers about 6 months ago on Twitch. I'd never presented on Twitch before. It was quite interesting. But all these gamers that are quite sedentary, they play for hours sitting at home and talking about wellness and activity. And it was quite interesting that I even got asked to do that. But I think that's who we're speaking to.
Yeah.
Right, in the future.
Yeah.
But, these 3D spaces, I've put a lot of thought into this, and I'm sure maybe you have as well, but, when you're wearing these goggles and you're in a space, you could do some incredible things. Like, imagine doing Zumba on the beach in Rio. Or, you could do yoga in the Tibetan mountains.
Yeah.
Fantastic. But I think you need to be in like a space, a pod, because if I started moving, I'm going to walk into something.
Well, no, but you can't. Like my son uses the Oculus, and so you can. You've got you draw out your area around you, so you can kind of see, but you can't see, and then you become this sort of an avatar, a bit like the Avatar movie. So I could kind of imagine that you could have a yoga studio where we all know where we are. But when you put these on, like you're who you want to be, you can create your own digital version, and I can. And we could be in this space. I could kind of see where it could go. I think the glasses and that have got to move on a little bit, but arguably...
Yeah, we're not there yet with those.
No.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.